My kid's daycare teacher saw me this morning and she said, I guess you're not vlogging today? Wrong, I'm vlogging today. All right, I'm actually going to a law meeting today and gun. Yeah, I obviously have a real law meeting this morning. I use my good camera until I get close enough, and then I'm going to use my GoPro, which is more discreet and makes me look like less of a lunatic. So there's that. But for now, I'm stuck in traffic because it's Montreal. So this morning I read a tweet from Dan Mace about his most recent video. For anybody who doesn't know who Dan Mace is the brew of Casey Neistat. If you don't know who Casey Neistat is, where are you on the internet? Dan Mace has his own channel, which is quite phenomenal, and he doesn't need me plugging or promoting his channel. He's got 700 and some odd thousand subscribers, puts out a video a week. They're very, very stylish, well-edited, catchy, well-themed. In fact, the editing is so slick and stylish, it's jealousy-inducing. You just, have to come to grips with your own level of skill and style, but whatever, I'm going on a tangent. He recently put out a video, which was a project compiling 100 different photographers. It was a huge project he'd been working on for a while, and his tweet this morning was to the effect that he's upset by all of the hate comments on his video. I personally didn't find that there was any disproportionate amount of genuine bona fide hate comments. I mean, you post anything on the internet, you're gonna get hate comments. You post a picture of a beautiful rose on the internet, you're gonna get hate comments for having cut the rose down or someone complaining about the danger of the thorns on the side. That's as good as the lighting's gonna get in here. But Dan, it's YouTube. It's the internet. All right, I need to head off to this meeting, so it is time to enter stealth vlog mode. It's not just that it's the internet, it's that when you expose yourself to the public, you expose yourself to ridicule, criticism, whether you like it or not. That's what it means to expose yourself. There's also the other thing that those who don't do criticize, but in reality, it's not just that those who don't do criticize, those who do get criticized. It's the nature of the beast. If you've done something, you are putting it out for the world to see and criticize. Go across here. I mean, it's the exact same thing in law and probably anything else in life. It's only the person who drafted the proceeding that can get criticized for having made a typo. It's only the person who drafted the proceeding that can get criticized for having forgotten a paragraph, an allegation, or whatever. Oh, my ears, I hate elevators, and I actually hate what I'm wearing today. Skyscrapers, intended only so that people could look down on other people. Alright, and it's not just that the internet is a cruel place, the world is a cruel place. You know, when I was a lawyer and I was working at a big law firm, you would spend hours drafting proceedings, doing research, preparing memos. You'd give it to the lawyer who would look at it and like nitpick over typos. And you'd sit there thinking to yourself, I just worked for 25 hours on this and my boss is picking out typos? But that's what it is. When you do something, other people are necessarily going to nitpick your mistakes because they didn't do it to make the mistakes in the first place. If you're going to be sensitive about it, you may as well just not do anything ever in your life because it's always going to happen whenever you do anything in your life. Okay, well, I'm out of the meeting now. I'm going to go back to my good camera because I don't like this thing. It's also the thing about social media is that people want to post on social media, but they're not prepared to deal with the negative comments that necessarily come with making something public. When you make something public, you are inviting public commentary. You are inviting people to share their opinion. You can't make something public and then ask the public not to share their opinion. You are inviting critique, you are inviting criticism. I learned this from the very first video. I learned this from one of the very first videos that I put up on the internet that went quasi-viral. It got like 80,000 views. And it was just me in the car mouthing the sounds of a kid screaming in the back of the car while we were driving because, you know, when a kid is crying in the back of the car, there's nothing really you can do about it. You can play music and whatever. And I put on the internet, man, I didn't think twice about anything. And I started getting like hateful comments from parents talking about the fact that that's a scream of anguish. I should stop the car and pay attention to the kid. Things that I question whether or not the people saying them are actually parents, because anybody with a kid is going to know that when your kid's screaming in the car, especially I think the kid was 1 year old, there's not much you're going to do. You're not pulling the car over every time the kid cries in the back. But that's it. You put something out there in the public, you are not only going to get praise and flattery, you're going to get critique, and some of it's going to be fair and some of it's going to be unfair. That's just the nature of the beast. Dude, you put something public on Facebook, it is either to invite discussion or it's not to invite discussion. If it's not to invite discussion, don't post it publicly. That's just how things work. Things are not a monologue, they are a dialogue on social media. As far as I'm concerned, the loving adoration comments are useless. People don't grow from being told what's good about them, they grow from being told what's not good about them. Alright, if you really stop to think about it, there are only two reasons why something would offend you. The first reason is, it's true, you know it, and you care about it. I don't know if that counts as 3 or 1, but whatever. It's true, you know it's true, and you care about it. Or, it's not true, but you think it's true, and you care about it. Easiest example I can think of is, someone calls me short. Okay, I am short. I don't care about it. That comment is not going to insult me in the least. Take someone who knows that they're short and cares about it and it's a source of embarrassment for them, they would be offended by that comment. So, and as far as constructive criticism goes, it should never be insulting. Someone told me an expression the other day and it was fantastic. They said, offense is taken, not given. When someone gives you constructive criticism, if you take offense, that is on you, not on the person giving the constructive criticism. There are good and bad and nice and not nice ways of giving constructive feedback. A lot of people prefer the compliment sandwich, which I detest. For those of you who don't know what the compliment sandwich is, it's you did something really good here, but you need work here, and this was done really well also. I hate receiving the compliment sandwich, which means I hate giving the compliment sandwich. It's patronizing, it treats me like an infant, as though I can't deal with the constructive criticism without sandwiching it between two compliments. I hate it. I have no idea what the point of this video is anymore. All that to say is, getting back to Dan Mace's video, you cannot expose yourself to the public and then complain when people give their opinion on your expose. Don't be so sensitive about constructive criticism. If you are reacting as defensively as you are, it's probably because you see some truth in the comments, and in which case, it does no good saying these comments are hurtful. If they are hurtful, you're gonna have to change it internally and not change the comments. Because there's nothing worse than being surrounded by a bunch of yes people that say, great video, when you know that other people are not saying great video. Let me relay this back to law for 1 second. I had a number of restaurant clients, and they said there's nothing worse than the unhappy customer that doesn't tell you that they're unhappy. The polite customer is gonna do one of two things. They're gonna say great meal when they don't mean it and they're never gonna come back, or they're gonna leave after having had a bad meal and never come back. And then in which case, all you hear are good comments, but you see your business dwindling. You need the constructive feedback in order to know what to do to make yourself better. Getting nothing but compliments does not build a person, it does not build a business. And in fact, it can destroy a business because it's misleading. Because all you do is hear compliments and yet things are declining, sales are declining, subscribers are declining. Being surrounded by polite people, yes people who just say, way to go, great, God, that was a great meal, I'm never coming back here again. It's actually more destructive than it is good, because all that you end up thinking is that everybody loves what I'm doing, everybody loves my restaurant, but nobody's coming back and business is decreasing. You need the constructive feedback and even the insults, even the stuff that is a genuine insult, because if it hurts you, it's because there's an element of truth in it. And if there's an element of truth in it, you know what you have to fix, even if the comment was rude, insulting, and absolutely out of line. I did not need 2 more of these capsules of Nespresso, but I forgot that I had a second cup of coffee at the meeting this morning, and now I am going to have to hit the treadmill to work this off.